Greetings, book lovers everywhere. I'm E-Train and welcome to E-Train Talks, where I discuss everything books in the hopes of inspiring others to love reading as much as I do. And today is an exciting day on E-Train Talks, because I'm not just talking to one book lover, I'm talking to three. In fact, they don't just love books, they write books, and teach others how to write also. Today's guests are each connected to the Writers Cubed, a nonprofit organization that is focused on providing books to kids in need, as well as helping teens and tweens discover the magic of literacy and uncover their writing superpowers. But today, we're also going to be talking about one of their subsidiaries, Tween Author Boot Camp. Tabc is the nation's largest annual teen writers conference dedicated to teen writers and their favorite YA authors. Today, you'll be hearing from Jennifer Jenkins, author and the executive director of the whole Writers Cube nonprofit. We're also going to be hearing from Jennifer Nielsen, New York Times bestselling author and the director of Book Drop, and Heather Clark, author as well as the director of Tween Author Boot Camp. They're going to be sharing everything that's great about their author boot camps, and as a lover of books and writing myself, I'm excited and honored to be partnering with Tween Author Boot Camp to help further their cause, and mine, in promoting literacy. Thank you all for joining me today.
Thanks, E-Train. You're the best.
So excited to be here.
And I'm excited to talk to you. And you guys are all the best too. All you're doing to help get books in the hands of readers and inspire the next generation of writers. It's just really, I'm just so grateful for all that you're doing. And first off, can you share what each of your roles are in TABC and how you promote literacy?
Sure. I'm happy to start with that. My name's Jennifer Jenkins. I'm one of the Jennifers in this conversation, but probably not the one that you know best. I am the executive director of Writers Cubed and one of the founders of Tween Author Boot Camp. And that's who I am. I help make all of the wheels and cogs and all of the moving pieces of this massive growing organization work together. And so that's my role, and it's my privilege to do it.
I'm Jennifer Nielsen, and like you said, I'm the director of Book Drop, which I'm sure we'll be talking more about. It is an incredible privilege to work with these other two women and the wider scope of who's involved with Tween Author Boot Camp. Just amazing people, every one of them.
They are amazing.
I'm Heather Clark, and the way I got to be in this party is that I interviewed Jennifer Nielsen and Jennifer Jenkins about Book Drop on my podcast, Middle Grade Book Party. And when we did that, I just started fangirling so hard over their efforts to work with children's literacy. I was debuting my own middle grade novel at the time, and we just got to be friends, and we knew we needed to keep working together. So I'm working as program director for the Tween set, and so my programming focuses mostly on writers ages 9 through 12. So it's kind of right in your wheelhouse there, E-Train, and we've got some fun stuff coming up for national and local programming.
Yay! And that's one thing that you can all be super excited about. And also, I'm going to be talking with Heather Clark in the future on my podcast about her debut middle grade novel, Lemon Drop Falls, which I absolutely loved. And now let's get into some more questions, because I'm super thrilled to be able to talk to you. And I know that everybody listening wants to know more about Tween Author Boot Camp. So how did the Teen and Tween Author Boot Camps come to be? And I'm going to ask this question to Jennifer Jenkins, because she's kind of the whole founder.
I am one of 4 other founders that put this organization together over 12 years ago. We started as a writers group, and we eventually realized that this thing that we loved, writing, was something that we wanted to share. And the original idea was, what if we sponsored a writing contest at a local high school or something like that, and provided an award to a deserving teen writer. And after some brainstorming, I decided I thought we could do better. So I went to a local university, Utah Valley University, and I knocked on their community education door, and I said, I think you need us. And the ironic thing is, at the time, I wasn't a published author and no one in my writers group was published. We were just all passionate about providing something for teens that we wished we had had when we were younger. And the rest is history. We had about 130 teens show up to that first conference, and we thought, what a great success. We included some local authors that were fantastic and who are dear friends to this day. But every year that we did this event, it grew exponentially. And like you said, we are the largest that we are aware of writers conference for teens in the country. And that attracting nearly 1,000 teens from all over to our in-person event and also our virtual events. So that's kind of how we started.
Wow.
I just have to say, getting to go to that event this year was my first time, and getting to speak with the teens there. The community that Tween Author Boot Camp is building is so incredible. The teens who participate in this program, the writers who come to donate their time to the program, the whole feeling, it is probably the most euphoric writing event I've ever been to. I'm so grateful they started it.
Agreed.
Thank you, guys.
And I too am grateful that you started the Tween Author Boot Camp. And it's so wonderful that what started as maybe around 100 kids, just a few conferences, is now turned into something nationwide where teens all over, and eventually tweens, once COVID is kind of away, we're done with COVID, some tweens are going to be coming to conferences, and you're going to have a whole wide variety of up-and-coming writers just knocking at your doorstep saying, oh, I want to learn how to write from you. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And now 12 years in, you're doing so much. And I know that it's just getting started.
Thank you so much. Yeah, hearing it from you, E-Train, actually validates 12 years. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your kind words.
Well, I appreciate all that all of you are doing to promote literacy and get books in the hands of the right readers. And I've touched on a couple of the goals of Tween Author Boot Camp, but what are some more that authors, up-and-coming teen writers, I just want to know, what exactly are the goals of Tween Author Boot Camp?
Do you know, on Writers Cubed, the parent nonprofit, it's a 501c3 nonprofit that puts on Tween Author Boot Camp and Tween Author Boot Camp and other programs. We have really three goals. The first is to help children and teens develop a love of reading and writing. That's the number one. The number two is to provide books and positive author encounters for the economically disadvantaged. And that's something that I'm assuming Jennifer Nielsen will be talking more about here in just a minute. But the third and final point of our mission, and that's why we're Writers Cubed, because we're writers to the third power, is to create a safe and validating community, like Heather was talking about, fostering creativity and achievement with some measurable and desirable educational outcomes. So that's who we are, and that's what we're about.
Well, that's so interesting. And just those three goals, they're so meaningful. And you can also find some more information on their website and those three goals, in fact. And you've definitely fulfilled your goals. You're getting books in the hands of readers who really need them. And I know that everybody listening who knows about Teen and Tween Author Boot Camp, who's really been a part of their programs, I think that we all have to say that what you're doing is incredible and so admirable. And yeah, like you said, my next question is for Jennifer Nielsen. So Jennifer Nielsen is the director of Book Drop. So I know that we're all eager to help end book deserts and help kids find the magic of reading and writing. So Jennifer Nielsen, could you tell us a little bit more about the goals of Book Drop and let us know how people watching can help support your cause?
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it was something that kind of developed, this idea developed very slowly, but as an author, and I'd go into schools, I'd see the kids who would line up with a book that they were able to purchase, and then they get to meet the author and get their book signed. And that's awesome. But then I see the kids who are sent back to class, and not because they don't want a book, and not because that doesn't matter to them, but because they just don't happen to come from families that could afford those books. And as it happens, growing up, that would have been my category. Like, that would not have been an option for my family to have been able to buy books so that I could stand in line to meet the author. And that's really bothered me over time. And so there was this awesome opportunity when I was speaking with Jennifer Jenkins one day and talking to her about this idea I had that was something we could do to help end book deserts. And for Jennifer Jenkins, her eyes just lit up and she's like, we have the structure to do this. And in fact, this is something we have been trying to incorporate into our mission. And so it was just this perfect pairing of an opportunity she was looking for and an opportunity I had, but needed the structure. And so Book Drop, we go into Title I schools. These are schools that with children that, for most children, they are in high poverty situations. And every child at that school is going to receive a free book signed by the author. The author of that book will donate a school visit, an assembly there, because we know when children see the author, their likelihood of reading the book skyrockets. And this is our way. It's just one of many ways, but this is a way that we can help to end those book deserts so that a child's access to a book that they own for themselves, it isn't dependent on their family's income. They get it because all children deserve the chance to own books and to read.
That's so awesome what you're doing. Like, I can't think of any words to describe that. Just going to Title I schools, like having author visits and kind of just motivating kids to read. I think that's probably one of the best things you can do to help end book deserts. And you and Jennifer Jenkins, like, you became the perfect duo. You needed the structure and she needed somebody who could do it, like who had the outreach, who had the great books, and boom, the perfect pairing. And now you have Book Drop and Teen Author Boot Camp and Tween Author Boot Camp now. It's just doing wonders to help promote literacy. And a side question I have is, who are some authors that are involved in Teen Author Boot Camp?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, over this past year, this was our first year, we brought in Newbery Award-winning author Matt Pena. Was part of it. We've had a #1 New York Times bestselling author, Brandon Mole. Shannon Hale has been part of it. We've had award-winning author Shamile Saeed Mendez, who was phenomenal, and many other authors as well. Looking ahead, we've got an auction that is going to be happening over this summer where educators or book club directors or librarians can bid to auction a 30-minute virtual visit, and authors there. That includes Chris Gravenstein, Max Brailer, Lisa McMahon. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Christopher Paolini, like some of the biggest authors in the world. And they are donating these virtual visits to benefit Book Drop, to benefit these children. And so for anybody listening, maybe we can go to Teen Author Boot Camp and we'll help you follow the links in order to reach this auction, because it's going to be phenomenal. We're so grateful for these authors.
It opens on July 1st, and we'll have a button, a big circular button on our main page so that you can find it if you're interested.
Awesome.
Well, I'll be sure to share that link and tell everybody about these virtual visits, tell teachers of Title I schools and just students, like everybody everybody who needs these books, who needs these events, because it's just so wonderful all that you're doing with Book Drop, Teen Author Boot Camp. And that leads me to my next question. So we've discussed what TABC, Writers Cubed, and Tween Author Boot Camp, we discussed what they are. And you also host conferences and events. So what are some upcoming author boot camp events that we can look forward to?
Ooh, I'm so excited. Can I talk about Tween?
Segue for Heather. Go for it.
I'm so excited. We have got some amazing authors coming up, E-Train, and I'm really hoping that this podcast and that the other marketing efforts that we're doing can help these programs get to the kids who really need them. And so that's really our hope. But what we have got coming up right now is our first in-person conference in 3 years because COVID. We've got our Tween Author Boot Camp conference is October the 25th, and we've just agreed that we're going to have a virtual option for that so that kids, and it'll be really inexpensive, that kids all over the country are going to be able to access those authors and those things. And I'm going to let you right now, E-Train, you're going to get the first announcement of our keynote speaker for that conference. And it is Brandon Mull, the author of Fablehaven and Dragon Watch, and he's so fantastic. He's our keynote. And then we've got 4 other amazing authors there that we'll be announcing very soon. I just want to let you know for our national programming every single month starting, and in fact, Jennifer is going to launch us off with Jennifer A. Nielsen. So we're first going to have a back to school issue in the middle of August of our newsletter that will come out. Everyone who subscribes right now is being entered. Every person who subscribes to that newsletter is being entered for a giveaway of Jennifer's new book, Lines of Courage. And so there's going to be 5 of those given away as part of newsletter subscriptions. But as you subscribe, you'll get your first newsletter in the middle of August. And that will just be a big celebration of back to school. Then we're going to start with Jennifer A. Nielsen, who is going to be our featured author. She will give a writing lesson and prompt in the beginning. And we have that already. And then she will give a webinar in the middle of the month of September. So she'll be our featured author for September. Then we have a webinar. Every month, there'll be a featured author with a writing lesson and writing prompt, and with middle grade book news and event news. And there'll be giveaways and opportunities to share the message and help get this to the end of the row. But some authors who've just recently agreed to be part of our programming in this next year are Gary D. Schmidt, author of the Wednesday Wars, Rajani Laraka. She won a Newbery Honor this year for Red, White, and Whole. We have Jasmine Warga, winner of the Newbery Honor, author of Other Words for Home and The Shape of Thunder. Margaret Peterson Haddix just got back to me and said she will be on our programming for this year. And she is just so incredible. We've got, I've listed a few of the people who are coming to join us this year, but we are so, so excited about all that programming. And we are looking at virtual summer camp next year, where every single day kids could come and they would have an author a day where they would come learn from the author for an hour, go take an hour, work on their own writing, come back, and then they could come back and do intensives with the author. They could opt to do intensives where it would be just 10 kids in an intensive with the author talking about what they had just written, learning some critiquing skills. It's going to be so incredible. And for now, for sure, the 3 commitments I have for summer camp are Gary D. Schmidt, Jasmine Warga, and Margaret Peterson Haddix. So we are looking at some phenomenal programming. And the most exciting thing to me about that is the webinar registration for that. We will be doing a buy one, gift one. So every kid who signs up for that summer camp is going to be able to, their scholarship, there will be 1 scholarship for a kid from a Title I school. So 50% of our attendees will be Title I school. Anyway, I'm so excited. Thanks for asking.
E-Train, can you see why Heather Clark is the Tween director for Writers Cube? She is phenomenal. We feel so fortunate to have her energy in the program.
She is that program that would have changed my whole life as
Me too. I just was alone in my room writing stuff in notebooks. How much earlier would I have written my first book? Honestly, I cannot wait until these kids that are coming through teen and tween and book drop turn into authors. In fact, my goal, one of my key phrases that I want to say to all these kids is your story matters. Your voice matters, right? I got that from Jen. I really did. And I was thinking that should be our conference theme for next year, honestly.
Well, if you look to our website, our very
Unlock the story in you.
Unlock the story within you is the biggest front and center message that we have on our website, because we feel we want teens and tweens to understand that we see them, that we want them to feel validated, we want them to feel heard, and we want to connect them with like minds. There's so many programs out there that support football and dance and all other awesome activities. But the dream with Teen Author Boot Camp and other programs was to make sure that teens and tweens who loved writing had a place. They had a community. They had a safe spot that they could go and be inspired and get the instruction that they're thirsty for. So I'm just so thrilled to have Heather and Jen working on this common cause.
I'm going to tell you a little anecdote. One time I was standing as a hopeful author in a line waiting to have a book signed by Jennifer A. Nielsen. And I got up to the thing and I was kind of emotional and I was like, it's never going to happen for me. I'm never going to get to do this. I want to do it so bad. And she just said, basically, I'm not sure if these were the words, but your story matters. And she said, you let me know when that first book is coming out. I'm going to be your first person to buy it. And she means it. And watching her tell kids that, I know she means it. And I think we are going to wind up having an explosion of stories that might not have existed otherwise, thanks to the work that these women are doing. And I'm so grateful to be part of it.
Everybody, that deserves a round of applause. That is so incredible. You guys are amazing.
Well, but
Wow.
you can understand you're part of this now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like the work that we're doing, all right, you are doing this work. You're engaging in it your own way, but it's not us, the three women on this panel. It's the four of us and everyone you are able to reach, and everybody who's listening who says, hey, you know what? This matters to me too. How can I get involved? And so it's a much wider net than the three of us. And absolutely, it includes your work.
We need ambassadors.
I don't know when you turn 13, but Tween Author Boot Camp here in Utah next March is going to be pretty epic. Should think about coming out.
I'm excited. Well, now you know, everybody, what's going on in the Teen and Tween Author Boot Camp universe. And now my next question is, how can we all get involved? How can we help? How can we get books in the hands of readers? How can we share their stories?
Well, I think one way that you can get involved is to come, if you're a writer, one way that you can get involved is to come to teenauthorbootcamp.com, subscribe to our newsletter. If you're a tween, go to the Tween tab and learn about everything that's going on there. If you're a teen, go to the Teen tab and learn about everything that's going on there. Subscribe, and then you won't miss any news about contests, publications, other programs that we support. If you want to help raise awareness and funds for TABC Book Drop, Jen?
Go to the teenauthorbootcamp.com and find the book drop link. We need help. Honestly, we need people who say, you know what, I've got a little extra money, or I have a contact that I'm willing to connect you with. We do need help to make this happen. And every offer of help matters. And so find the book drop link on the Tween Author Boot Camp website, and we welcome everyone who is willing.
Yeah.
Even just $10 supports a child from a Title I school. And those add up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, reiterating Jennifer's statement, please help us. Please help us do good.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Jen.
Oh, that's it.
Another fun connection for the young writers is that we at the Tween Author Boot Camp social media are starting to have author writing prompts at least 3 days a week. At least 3 days a week, we're going to be doing them, and hopefully building into every single day that you can come. And we're hoping that young readers and writers will come and follow, will come and read the writing prompt, and then will come do the writing prompt and share it with us right there on social media so that people can start interacting. And a lot of those prompts will be by authors. They'll be tagged. You never know when your favorite author might respond to your writing prompt. It could be incredible, but we're hoping to really build community there too. So your listeners, we'd love to have them.
I am literally sending you my writing prompts this afternoon. Like, that's why I was running late today. So literally, I'm going to be part of that in like 2 hours.
Cannot wait.
That is so much fun. And now you know how you can get involved. So go to teenauthorbootcamp.com, and to go check out the book drop, check out for tweens, you can go to teenauthorbootcamp.com/TABC-book-drop for the book drop. And for tweens, go to teenauthorbootcamp.com/tweens. And you can find out more on their Twitter, Instagram, and all these different places where their outreach is pretty wide. And also, there's TABC Classroom. There's a swag store where you can get shirts that say protagonist, all these fun different add-ons to such an amazing cause. And for the book drop, it says there are 3,005 children who have been benefited so far. And we can make that more together. So why don't we all just click on TeenAuthorBootCamp.com? Why don't we all just be amazing and help kids share their stories? Because it's just such a wonderful cause. And now that leads me to my final question, which is directed for all the teens and tweens out there who want to know, how can we join these webinars? So how do teens and tweens find out more about the camps, and how do they get involved and join?
So you can join our webinars by just going onto our main website, TeenAuthorBootCamp.com. You'll find links for webinars specifically geared toward tweens on the Tween tab. I'm going to have to say it again. Here I go. And you're going to find webinars specifically geared toward teens on the Teen tab, but menu tab. But honestly, all of our content is appropriate for crossover. So if you are a tween that is gung-ho about writing, definitely feel like you can jump over to that Teen tab. We are so excited to have you and welcome you to our community. It is a lot of fun. Hold tight, that you are about to have a riot, because we play hard at Tween Author Boot Camp.
And they certainly do. You can see the website on the screen now. It's such a wonderful place on the internet and a lot to click on. So just join now for all the webinars and stuff, and you can hear from your favorite authors. That's just a brief look, but you guys can just go to TeenAuthorBootCamp.com, link in the description, and you can find out more.
Awesome. Thank you.
And that's all, everybody. Thanks so much for joining my webinar with Jennifer A. Nielsen, Heather Clark, and Jennifer Jenkins. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that everybody listening knows that you are seen. If you want to be a writer, if you're a kid, a teen, or tween who wants to just become a published author one day, this is the place where you can fulfill your dreams, where you can share your story with all of your favorite authors. And just thank you for all that you do to promote literacy. Everybody listening, I highly recommend just checking out their website and sharing it with your friends, with some kids who want to be writers, because that's who this is aimed for. Anybody, any kid who wants to become a writer, this is the place for you. And always keep checking the Tween Author Boot Camp Twitter, the Tween Author Boot Camp Twitter, which just recently got started, their Instagram, all of these different places on the internet where you can learn more about Tween Author Boot Camp, Tween Author Boot Camp, Writers Cube, all of these different subsidiaries of the whole Writers Cube nonprofit. And who knows, maybe your help might just be hugely benefit some kids. And they might want to thank you in the future, and they'll come up to you and say, thank you so much, because you will be making a difference. So stay safe and happy reading, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.